So I think this is the first time we are recording a session that we usually do just for the team members. This is episode 1 of the anthology of Balaji. Basically एक ऐसा session जहाँ पे I teach you what I have learned from a book that I'm reading. Basically this is the book. I'm pretty sure बहुत लोगों ने The Almanac of Naval Ravikant का नाम सुना होगा. The same author has written this book and I had heard about Balaji a lot many times by different friends, and I thought that let's read this book. But the question is that why are we talking about it? See, we have been teaching AI for a very long time, and after training too many people, we realized that AI skills and AI knowledge in general is very easy to teach, very easy to learn. However, the ability to learn, the ability to think, the ability to write in general is very difficult to teach. So people in general are stuck in their low paying jobs because they do not have the right skills only to crack better opportunities. It's not like jobs do not exist. It's just that people are not eligible for them. And professionals in general have forgotten how to learn fast. And I think mostly it's about doom scrolling, high screen time, low reading, bunch of distractions. And AI is ruining people's focus and priorities in the first place. Whether it's dopamine edits, whether it's too much of social media. So we decided that we talk too much about AI tools. Let's try to release some lectures for the public where we teach them foundations of human intelligence. Now, what is foundations of human intelligence? सबसे पहले we will focus on skills that AI cannot replace, which means the ability to read, the ability to observe, the ability to reflect on what you have read, the ability to write, and the ability to judge. And then we will learn from real business examples. We will learn from some of the stories that we have seen in our own enterprise clients as well, so that it remains very practical. And the goal here is to help 1 crore people learn AI in the right way. Now, Dr. Mohan Sani, he's like a very popular professor. He spoke about this very interesting quote of Archimedes that if you give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, then I will move the entire world. Most people talk about the lever, which is your AI tool, but very few people talk about the place to stand, the fulcrum of the lever. And any lever without a fulcrum is just a stick. So this session is not a book summary. Okay? I will not say that at the end of the session you will know everything that Balaji has taught. I will teach you how do I read something. I want you to learn how do I learn from a book. And slowly I will teach you how to think better. This is not a one-time pravachan. This is going to be a recurring team ritual in general because I want each and every one of you to develop the habit of reading. So now let me show you how do I read in the first place. What is my process of reading? Sabse pehle, there are 3 things that I keep with me when I read. The book, a notepad, highlighter, and a pencil. Before I start reading the book, I would go through the entire index. I do not put pressure on myself to finish the entire book. I read book in phases, and in most cases I'm reading 2 to 3 books at once. Once I know that maybe this part is not very relevant, this part is more relevant, that is how I prioritize my time. Now in general, when I'm reading something, I would use my highlighter to highlight an interesting quote. Within that, I would write important or CTA or advice or question mark if I get confused with a pencil. It is a waste of time to draw lines with your pencil because it makes the entire book very untidy. So using a highlighter is way better. Now, what is the mental note that I want to double down on? This is not about just learning about AI. It is our ability to now teach people who are watching this as well on how to read, learn, and think faster. Because most people read books like a teleprompter. They would read something and think that just because they have read it, they understand it. But that is not true. So you have to pause, you have to take a note of it, and you have to draw a conclusion for yourself. When you read something, it is your responsibility to consistently ask yourself, how is this helpful to me? Otherwise, your brain is just going to become a bag of facts, a big bag of information, a big bag of quotes. So you have to explicitly put pressure on your brain that I have read this one single paragraph. How does this apply to my personal life? Otherwise, you will not remember it. There are multiple parts to the lessons I've learned in this book. Let's start with part number 1 on how to do less but still earn more. How to be faster and better than others. These are the quotes from the book itself, and then I have made some notes, my own observations, my own thoughts. This is how you have to read as well. Putting in a lot of labor does not necessarily generate value. Putting in the right technology often does. Most people think that working hard is a sign of productivity. They spend very little time testing better ways to work. They assume that SOPs are laws and not recommendations. This is something I've learned from Elon Musk as well. Tech for speed is also not enough. You also need direction, which is velocity over speed. Speed is just you running. Velocity is speed with direction. It will be very, very easy for you to keep doing the work in a way that you've done before. You have to switch on your brain every single day when you come to work and ask yourself that, is this the easiest way to get things done? Elon Musk is building SpaceX because he cannot buy a trip to Mars. 100 years ago, the richest man in the world could not buy an iPhone. If you think closely, the kind of resources that you have right now, the king of this world didn't have it 300 years ago. The king, the richest man on the planet, didn't have the resources you have right now. But do we use our resources intentionally? Not at all. Do we realize what kind of work we do? What kind of impact can we have? No. So everything relies on intention, niyat. Without niyat, you're just a bunch of blind people following orders. Your life is not meant to follow orders. Your life is to pick a goal, to pick a purpose, and ask yourself, am I spending my day in the best way possible? People pay for the value provided to them. They pay for the impact on them, not the cost to provide it. When we buy an iPhone, we do not pay for the cost it takes to make an iPhone. Do you really feel that this iPhone or this iPad will cost 2 lakh rupees? No. But why are we still willing to pay 2 lakh rupees for this iPad? Even though I know कि इसका raw material का cost is way less than 2 lakh rupees. But why am I paying 2 lakh rupees? Because first of all, nobody else is making this high quality outcome. And I know the value this can bring into my life. So consumers are completely okay paying for expensive things as long as they give value. When we train an enterprise on AI tools, we get paid to help them make more money. That is how the economy runs. If you haven't studied something in depth, your mental model of it often reduces to a few scenes from a Hollywood movie. Same thing is happening in content research as well. In the past 3, 4, 5 months, why was our scripting going down? Because a lot of our inspiration was coming from reels, from YouTube videos, or some AI result that a Perplexity or a Claude gave to them. Iske beyond, most people were not going ahead. There was no depth in research. They were watching YouTube videos, they were watching Instagram reels, idhar udhar se kuch upar niche ka pad liya, and they thought that is research. That is called understanding something. And it was showing. So just like Balaji is saying that if you have not studied something in depth, your mental model resembles a Hollywood movie. For our team, if you are relying on YouTube videos and reels, your mental model will show that very, very quickly. Until unless you go deep into your subject. It's really hard to make something easy. However, we take our resources for granted and become lazier. Compared to our ancestors, we are golden gods surfing on a sea of electrons. And ये बात बिल्कुल सच है. If one of your ancestors came from a time traveling machine, you will be like a god in their eyes. The fact that you can talk to people in Europe and US, the fact that you can make videos, the fact that you can edit things, the fact that you can ask AI on literally any subject, you are acting like God to your ancestors. But do we realize this power? Not really. Complete underutilization. Usain Bolt can run 2 times faster than most people. However, a new algorithm can run 1,000 times faster than an older algorithm. Think about this. A good or a better human being is just 2 times faster than an average human being. But if you use the right technology, for example, if today we have cracked how to use Claude in Hixfield, if we have cracked how to use the Edits app to, reduce the turnaround times, we are using technology. Even the world's best editor, the world's best writer can just be 2 times faster than the average writer. 2 times faster is the maximum cap. But technology can be 1,000 times faster. But are we obsessed with using the best technology? No. So each and every person in the organization has to be obsessed that are we on the best technology? We are in the business of teaching technology. And if the content team itself is not using the best technology, I don't want the academy team to go so ahead with Claude and Perplexity and XYZ and the content team, getting left behind. Marvel has fired 1,000 people. There's a very high chance that these people were not evolving, not ready to evolve. I don't want my content team to get outdated at any cost. Many things that are true are unpopular. Many things that are popular are untrue. This is the reality of life. But most people only rely on things that are popular. They read things that are popular, they know things that are popular, but most popular things are untrue. Never rely on the first insight you get. Never rely on the first opinion you hear from somebody. Because the most basic, the most obvious stuff that your brain is throwing at you is the most popular insight. And the most popular insight is never necessarily the best insight. तो तुम्हारे दिमाग में अगर किसी चीज को सॉल्व करने का एक तरीका आ रहा है, डोंट थिंक दैट इज द बेस्ट वे टू सॉल्व इट. When you go on Google and ask for something, the first link is never the best result. It is the best SEO result. It is not the best result. Pursue truth, health, and wealth in that specific priority order. You cannot do great work unless you're working out, eating well, and taking care of your sleep and well-being. This is the most important thing you can ever learn from my life. The reason why I tell people to shift to Gurgaon, the reason I tell people to come to office at 11 a.m., the reason I tell people to eat better food is because your health is everything. But most people do not care about it. अभी तुम young हो, तुमको उसका effect नहीं दिखेगा. When you cross 35, you will remember my words. Those who take my words seriously will remember at 35. Those who will not will remember me even more actually. कि वो बोलता था उस टाइम नहीं सुना मैं. Most of us ignore such basic things because we have received our bodies for free. That is the problem. The most valuable things in life were given to us for free. Now, this is a separate chapter in the book which talks about media. Do you know why media is called media? Because it mediates our interpretation of reality. And there was a very interesting diagram where there was a source of light and there was a wall and then there was a thin film and यहाँ पे एक circle था. So obviously when light passes through this entire thing, you don't see the entire light. You only see the light that passes from this thing. All of this stuff gets deleted, no? This is called a medium. This is media. The plural of medium is media. So because our social media, because our work in general is influencing people's perception of reality, the cost is huge. You have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders. What you make is influencing how people see the world. If you are what you eat, then you think what you see. Your body replaces approximately 330 billion cells every day. This is what Gemini is saying. Let's assume it's not even 330 billion. Let's say it is 1 billion. Still a huge number. 1 billion cells in your body are getting through a cycle of change every day. You are rebuilding your body with diet and rebuilding your brain with information every single day. Everything that you put in your body is building your skin, your hair, your organs. You are rebuilding your body every day. And just like your food, the information that you read, the content that you watch, it is rebuilding your brain. And if you put these things two together, you will realize how important both of these things are there in your life. That is why I've created like a library in the company so that you can fix your brain. The media you consume changes the decisions you make. The technology you have changes the decision you can make in life. So maybe you read something and you're like, oh, I think we should do this. But only technology will decide if you can actually do this. आपका मन तो कर सकता है, but अगर आप पे वो technology नहीं है, you can't do anything. An important feed will always be very different from your news feed. Because what is important often is not new. And what is new often is not important. This is the reason why these discussions are so important. We have to, first of all, within the organization, focus on things that have been relevant for the past 100 years, because most likely they will be relevant for the next 100 years. Of course, we're in the business of teaching what is new, but we have to be in the business of teaching what is not new. If you rely only on new, you will lose the race. So let's take some practical examples. After reading this book, what did I do in my life? सबसे पहले, I started taking care of my blood levels. Internal, I did like this Gemini quiz on checking my body type, Vata versus Pitta, whatever. I've told everybody about it, do that quiz. I realized that most of the stuff that I was eating on a daily basis is terrible for my body. I used to have like a banana milkshake with paneer sandwich every evening thinking that, मैं कोई तो diet guru हूँ. Turns out it is the worst thing for my body. Claude literally told me that it is a Virudh. It is a Virudh masterclass. उसने मेरा diet routine देख के मुझे बोला that what you have told me is a masterclass in committing a diet crime. But I had no clue. Because मैंने कहीं से कुछ से सुन लिया था banana milkshake and paneer sandwich are great for health. You should have that as a meal. It is terrible for my body. So you need to go to the truth. Right? And truth comes from information. Most people don't seek truth. They seek opinions, they seek thoughts, they seek batein, they seek biases, they don't seek the truth. Truth comes from research by going really deep. In general, you have to block time for regular walks and reading. You have to do this. This is the reason why we have pushed the office timings. You have to make sure that you're doing some exercise, you're doing some walking, you are putting yourself in sunlight. Some examples in content. When we realize that Remotion can make most of our After Effects ka animations, imagine how much time you will save now. With 1 day of effort, with 1 day of research, you have now saved hundreds of hours. Using Seedance 2.0 in HeyGen, it can help us save so much of time in ads and avatars. Building Claude artifacts for fact checking or hiring people, this has actually helped us save costs and time. We earlier used to pay this one platform for testing, and now we have created our own testing platform. We were planning to buy a CRM, we have created our own mini CRM for all the use cases that we needed. So the ability to build something with new technology is absolutely insane. So what is the immediate call to action for each and every one of you? You have to build a strict routine for your good health and your brain. Paul Graham, one of the most richest investors in the world, has blocked a 45-minute chunk in his day-to-day calendar just to read. Just to read. Do you block your time to read? No. You either read in the morning or you read, go back home and read. You have tons of magazines here, you have tons of books here. Try to read. Your brain is extremely valuable. Then comes your diet. Are you eating properly? Are you working out? Every morning you wake up, you have to define the intent, niyat, with which you are planning to work. What is your intent for today? And you have to figure out how you will spend your time. You have to ask yourself that these are 4-5 things that I believe will give me maximum output. I don't want you to just make a to-do list. You have to figure out what are those 4-5 things that will help me reach my destination faster than ever. Put a timer on your phone of 30 minutes. Learn how to prioritize. In the next 1 year, you will have an AI tool to do everything in your life. वहाँ पे your next layer will be intelligence, human intelligence, the ability to do the right things first. If you have 10 things to achieve, what do you do first? Start observing patterns in successful things and start writing them down so that you build the vocabulary to spot them. Whatever you're seeing in life, use data. And for those of you who are watching this in the comment section, let me know what topics resonated with you, and if you have tried to apply any of these things, what are some challenges? We would love to solve those problems for you in the section, and let us know if you want similar videos. We'll just keep on recording more and more sessions for you.